In this video, we'll explore 7 habits that completely transformed my life in just 1 week. It might sound hard to believe, but I assure you, these are not the typical cliché tips you hear everywhere. These are real experiences, real changes that I applied to my daily routine, from the initial struggles to the breakthroughs and success that followed. I'm sharing these habits not just because they worked for me, but because I truly believe they can also make a positive impact on your life. Whether you're looking to boost productivity, improve mental health, or simply live a more positive and mindful life. These habits aren't just theoretical, they're practical and easy to implement. I'll also share some personal stories from this journey, real and heartfelt moments to show you that anyone can start making a change, as long as you're willing to give it a try. So grab a cup of coffee, sit back, relax, and join me as we discover 7 small habits that have the power to create big changes in life. Trust me, you won't want to miss this. The very first habit that changed my life was waking up early. To be honest, I was never a morning person. I used to hit the snooze button all the time and start my day feeling rushed, low on energy, and stressed. But then I decided to try something different, setting my alarm for 5 a.m. every day for 1 week. At first, it was really hard. I dragged myself out of bed, barely awake, wishing for just a bit more sleep. But then something magical began to happen around day 3. I started to notice the peaceful stillness of early morning. The world seemed to still be asleep. I used that time to stretch gently, meditate, and set my intentions for the day. I even had time to enjoy a relaxed breakfast instead of rushing through it. That feeling of not being chased by the clock made me more productive, calmer, and gave me a sense of control over my day. One of the most memorable moments was sitting on the balcony watching the sunrise. The sky changed colors, and the air was incredibly serene. In that moment, I felt deeply grateful for choosing to wake up early, and I realized that just one small change can shift your entire perspective. If you've never tried waking up early, start by getting up just 15 minutes earlier each day and notice the difference. Many people think aging means slowing down and becoming less active. But that's exactly why staying physically active becomes even more important. For me, daily movement not only keeps my body strong, but also lifts my spirits and sharpens my mind. I don't do intense or complicated workouts. Just simple things like walking around the nearby park each morning, swinging my arms, breathing deeply in the fresh air. Some days I do light Tai Chi, others I ride a bike slowly with some fellow seniors. Doing this regularly feels like recharging my body with new energy. I used to struggle with back pain and sore knees, but ever since I've kept up this routine, the pain has significantly reduced. My doctor even told me my stable blood pressure and blood sugar levels are thanks to this active lifestyle. It's a free medicine with long-lasting effects. Exercise also makes me happier. Each morning I meet neighbors, walk together, chat, and laugh. That connection makes me feel far from old. Aging doesn't mean staying still. As long as you can walk, keep walking. Every step says, I am still living well and joyfully. One of the most impactful mental habits for me has been journaling every day. It may sound simple, but it truly changed how I see myself and my life. I started this habit during a chaotic period. My mind was always spinning with worries, unspoken thoughts, and stress. At first, I only wrote a few lines before bed, sometimes just recapping what I did or how I felt. But slowly, I realized that writing down my thoughts was like releasing pressure from my mind. The journal became a space where I could be honest with myself. I could let go of sadness, note what I was grateful for, or simply talk to myself to gain clarity. Through these pages, I began to notice negative patterns small joys I used to overlook, and my own emotional rhythms. You don't have to be a writer or write long passages. Just be sincere. A few lines each day is enough to make a difference. If you're feeling tired, confused, or just want to understand yourself better, start with a blank page and a pen. You might find peace in that space. I used to eat in a rush, barely noticing what I was eating. Sometimes I'd be staring at my phone or working while eating. Everything became an unconscious routine, and as a result, I often overate without feeling satisfied. But once I started eating mindfully, things changed dramatically. I learned to sit down and fully experience my meals, no screens, no distractions. I began noticing the flavors, textures, and paying attention to when my body felt full. I started eating slower, eating less, but feeling much more fulfilled. I also realized something important. Sometimes we eat not out of hunger, but emotion. Stress, boredom, or loneliness used to lead me straight to snacks. Now, instead of grabbing a pastry, I pause and ask myself, am I really hungry? Often, all I need is a cup of herbal tea and a quiet moment, and the craving fades. Mindful eating isn't about dieting. It's about loving and understanding your body more each day. People often think that retirement or old age means learning stops. But for me, learning is a habit that should never end. It's what keeps my mind young, my spirit sharp, and my life exciting. I remember the first time I learned to use a smartphone at age 70. It was a mess. I kept pressing the wrong buttons, got frustrated, even wanted to throw it away. But I kept at it, learning how to send messages, take pictures, make video calls. Now, I use social media to talk to my grandkids, read the news every morning, and even watch cooking tutorials. It's not just tech. I've also learned gardening, picked up an instrument, and started writing my memoir. Every time I try something new, it feels like opening a new door, one that leads to joy I never knew existed. Learning doesn't have to be big. It can be trying a new recipe, reading a different genre, or listening to young people talk about their world. That's still learning. Old age isn't the end of learning. It's the time to learn deeply. Stay curious. When we're still learning, we're still truly alive. One habit I've developed over time is talking to myself, not always out loud on the street, though sometimes that too, but through quiet, honest self-conversations. I usually spend some quiet time in the early morning or before bed asking myself a few simple but meaningful questions. How am I really feeling today? Am I living in alignment with what I believe in? What's worrying me? And is it really worth worrying about? These questions help me better understand my emotions and thoughts, instead of letting them control me from behind the scenes. Talking to yourself isn't selfish or crazy. It's a way to become your own friend, to listen to the parts of you that are often ignored. The more I do this, the calmer I feel, the less reactive I become, and the better my decisions are. The beauty of this habit is you don't need anyone else, just a bit of quiet and honesty. If you ever feel lost, uncertain, or just want to connect with yourself, try sitting still and having a little talk. You might be surprised at what you find. Sometimes the one who understands and heals you most is you. One thing I've learned as I've lived longer, loneliness is a natural part of life. But instead of running from it, I've learned to make peace with it, and that's changed how I see the world. When I was younger, I feared loneliness. I thought being alone meant I was missing something, or worse, that I wasn't good enough to have someone beside me. But after many ups and downs, I realized being alone doesn't mean being lonely. In fact, it's in those quiet moments that I truly connect with who I am. I now spend free time not filling it with noise, phones, TV, or social media, but listening to the stillness. I take solo walks, sit by the window listening to the wind, or simply sip tea in silence. In those moments, I find a peace that no one else can give me except myself. Making friends with loneliness isn't easy, especially in a world that's always busy. But when we stop fearing it, loneliness becomes a teacher. It shows us how to value others' presence and also how to stand strong on our own. Try not to run from loneliness. You might just find in that quiet space the most authentic version of yourself. Life doesn't need massive changes to become better. Sometimes just one small daily habit, like a 15-minute walk, slower meals, or sleeping earlier, can create lasting improvements for our health and well-being. No matter your age, it's never too late to start again. What matters isn't being perfect from the beginning. It's having the will to improve little by little, each and every day. Choose a habit that feels right for you, start gently, and stay consistent. The results will not only show in your body, but will make you feel more confident and in control of your life. Every age is worth living fully. Just choose to live mindfully and love yourself a little more each day. If you found value in this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps this community grow and reach more people who might need a little encouragement or inspiration in their journey. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a new video. And if any of these habits spoke to you, share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. Thank you for being here. Your presence means a lot.